Hello, Eternum, and welcome to KOTT News, Eternum's #1 source for news. And this is the War Report.
Dynamic change in the history of Eternum last night as the Marauders of HBM win the battle in the bamboo and capture the medicinal hot springs of Ebonscale Reach. KOTT News were on the scene in Fortune's Crossing and spoke with the company spokesperson about their victory.
Congratulations on your victory out there tonight. How did you feel about the fight?
Oh, it was a pretty good fight. Got to work on our formations, our fundamentals, things like that.
Excellent. Was there anybody who kind of stood out tonight for you?
Me, obviously. Both respawn calling and healing. It's really tough out there, you know?
Well, let me ask you, do you have any ambitions to take another territory, or are you going to kind of settle into Ebonscale?
Oh, always. Oh, there's always a war to fight. Always fun to have. So we're always looking to push and do more wars.
The Outcasts turn away Big Pharma in Weaver's Fen, but KOTT were unable to secure an interview. However, we did catch up with company leaders in Greyvale to discuss both outcomes and the dynamics of high-level combat.
How do you feel out there tonight? Do you feel that they, there he goes. No comment from the Supreme Leader. He'll thank you for stepping up and taking a moment to talk to me about your conflict tonight. I know it was a 2-point outer hold. Do you feel they have any energy in them? Maybe they can do a little bit more recruiting and come back in the future?
I mean, personally, they just run a lot of, open world builds, which I think is their biggest downfall. They're running a lot of, fire staffs and bows and just really strange war builds to have that many of them. There was always, a weird 7-man just standing on A point, and we would just roll over. And you saw how the war went, even. We just run over, kill them, run back, kill them, run over, kill them, on repeat.
Now, I know there's a lot of skill diff there, but do you think that might have something to do with some of their equipment as well?
I think if they're really interested in doing war, they should reach out to a bigger companies that like to help other companies understand war, so we could have better wars all across the board. Yeah, I would say the biggest thing was that their composition as a main ball. I'm not even sure if they had a kill squad. They kind of just ran 50 deep down B point right off the bat, which was really strange. They didn't spread out. They stayed right together instead of spreading out and creating a giant net and then approaching. Yeah, there was a lot of things I think they could learn from if they're actually interested in being a warring company.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't get quite the level of competition you were hoping for tonight, but I'm sure that you will get it soon. Do you have any more fights coming up against Outcast anytime soon?
We'll probably. I mean, it looked really good. I wasn't able to make that war, sadly. It looked good. I think there's obviously things we need to tighten up, and probably some VODs, specific VODs that we need to go over. Yeah, I don't see a reason for why we shouldn't. We almost thwarted them at one point. I think we just tightened up those few things, and we should probably be able to take Outcast too. I feel very confident in that. I feel very confident in it, is that we should be able to take Outcast to fort. Watching from the outside in, being able to watch the war go on, there was definitely a lot of things that could be tightened up. A couple strategies that it seemed they were using that were really beneficial to them when we had opportunities to take that last point, that I think we just need to look at, address, and understand what we need to do to counter that.
All right, Coach. Well, I thank you for taking the time to give me a little insight into what your team is looking at and how you're developing. I know you got some VODs to go over. Is there anybody in particular who you thought might have stood out tonight, though, before I let you go?
I'd really like to say Ichiban. Ichiban likes to sit down on the side point when it's a farmy type of war like that, and he'll just make sure that he's challenging anybody that's coming to that side point. He'll let me know over main comms.
Little time for action last night as KOTT Studios were experiencing technical difficulties. However, we did manage to burn through some more activities in our pursuit of the news. This was definitely the season for full bingos, even if I didn't always have half an hour to grind. Quickly to the weather, and citizens should be aware that Turkalon is still on the loose if you're looking for something to do in the afternoon. And if you're looking to support the Invasion Response Squad's efforts tonight, be on the lookout for volunteers across 40% of the island. The other 40% of the island should be aware that open world combat opportunities will also present themselves for those seeking to participate in such. 3 submissions for simulated fantasy combat resolution tonight, brought to you by LARPco. Remember, if it isn't LARPco, it's cardboard. First up, The Syndicate members of Primordius Rise assault the Covenant hero worshippers of Outcasts for crown and kingdom of the Western Monarch's Bluff. Primordius Rise regrouping after last night's relinquishing of the Reach in order to present their patents of nobility in the court tower and claim their right to govern. But the Outcasts have two fronts to fight on tonight, and how Outcasts prioritize landholdings seems more related to conflict potential than commercial gain. Meanwhile, the Marauders of Dodgers version 2 assail the Zealots of the Outcasts for control of the master fishing delta of Reekwater. Dodgers V2 continue their journey along the east coast, seeking to find a place to call home before the third harshest winter in Eternum's history arrives. Outcasts with plenty of places to call home wonder if the Dodgers have improved their ability so much in the last 3 days, and may use this conflict as a developmental prospect. In the late night affair, the Syndicate members of Fresh Bench attack the Marauders of Pharma and Tillians for control of the bear-infested deep forests of Brightwood. Fresh Bench return to the woods and execute their right to rematch, but will they be able to overcome the occupying forces and return the Northern Woods to Syndicate control? Pharma and Tillians fighting their third fight in 2 nights may be a little tired from their previous efforts, but with a full roster available to them, they're sure to find a fresh group of 50 willing to defend the forest. Be sure to tune in for complete coverage and reactions from the citizens tonight at 11. Until then, this has been War Correspondent JChalant, KOTT News.